There's a new Warhammer preview online inbound, and it looks like they're going to be lifting the lid on some of their animations on Saturday. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where it looks like this Saturday is going to be an insanely busy day for Warhammer 40k. Not only do we have the Admech Codex releasing, 2 new combat patrols for Space Marines and Necrons, a bunch of other releases, but now we know there's also going to be a preview online at 6 PM UK time and on the times listed around the world. Apparently the subject of the preview will be entirely dedicated to the Warhammer 40k animations, something that Games Workshop has been hyping up for quite a while now. I believe some of the first hints of this came out around about a year ago, but we haven't heard all that much of the project since. I'm going to guess that this announcement might actually be the reveal for the Warhammer Animations project, and we might be able to actually see the full episodes of these things that they've been teasing for a while. I was kind of surprised that there was no mention of it whatsoever during Warhammer Fest, but I guess if their release date was just a little bit further off, then that might make sense why they might have delayed it. I certainly hope that it might be the release of them, or at least telling us when the date will be. Otherwise it seems a bit silly to have another preview entirely dedicated to the thing, if they're just going to tease us with more bits and pieces. At the moment it's not entirely clear exactly what sort of format this Warhammer Animations thing will take. At one point throughout one of the other previews they mentioned that you might need to have a My Warhammer account to sign into it, which implies that maybe it might have its own website, rather than appearing in maybe more traditional streaming services like say YouTube. I suspect they probably will be charging for it in some way, as opposed to just giving us all the content for free. I think the method of delivery could really make or break this as to whether or not it gains any sort of wider audience, or if it remains kind of locked away as its own thing, and the only people who bother paying for the entry fee are the ones who are already heavily invested in the hobby. We already have a fair few details about some of the shows that will be on it. First up, the one that intrigues me the most is this Hammer and Bolter series, basically 6 animated shorts covering various aspects of the 41st millennium. Again, in a preview that we've already seen, they told us that there will be 6 episodes of this, and they've given us just a little bit of details as to what it might involve. I think with this they're aiming for some shorts, probably quite meaningful and disturbing shorts. Maybe something along the lines of the Netflix series Love, Death and Robots, for those of you who've seen that. I quite enjoyed the first series of that myself, so I am kind of hopeful for these. In any case, the episodes are Death's Hand, an Inquisitor and a Calidus assassin, no idea whether she'll be trying to assassinate the Inquisitor or someone else, A Question of Faith, Sisters of Battle defending a sign against encroaching Chaos cultists, in the Garden of Ghosts, a spirit seer in a ravaged Eldar craft world, and we certainly have seen some striking scorpions previewed in these animations trailers. Maybe they'll make an appearance here. Bound for Greatness, a disturbing artifact found in the dusty corners of a librarium. I'm going to guess by the picture and the title that it's going to be some sort of chaos book, and you probably don't want to mess around with those. There's Fangs, a bunch of Space Wolves aspirants going out into the wilderness to prove their mettle, while intrigue erupts within the fortress monastery itself. And finally Old Baelai, Yarrick vs Ghazghkull, and I must say that cover shot of Yarrick facing off against a whole load of Stompers, Gargants and Orc hordes looks really cinematic. Hopefully we'll see some excerpts out of these. I'm looking forward to having a look at the whole series anyway. The other headline animation appears to be this moody Angels of Death sequence. No idea whether this is going to be an entire series, or maybe just a standalone feature-length film. It appears to pit the Blood Angels against the Tyranids and Genestealer cults, all rendered in this grungy black and white, with the Blood Angels armour bringing some vibrant bursts of red. There's already been quite a lot of footage shown off for this one. They're going to be fighting Tyranids in space and having some ship-to-ship action, as well as seeing Blood Angels, Terminators, Dreadnoughts and Power Armor Marines fighting mutants and Tyranids alike. Again, looks very cool indeed. I'm sure it's going to be well worth a watch. Otherwise, it also seems like they've made a cartoon-style animation of their Warhammer Adventures series. That's the one where they're making some Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar content that's a lot more aimed at kids. Seems like a bit of a weird concept to try and reconcile the setting of something that's incredibly dystopian and bleak, but also trying to make it kid-friendly at the same time. I can't say I'm all that interested in it myself, but then I'm sure I'm not the intended target audience. I suppose having something a little bit less gritty and horrific for the kids of hobbyists to get their teeth into might not be such a bad idea. Of course, that's only the stuff that they've actually confirmed so far. I might have missed things out of the previous trailers, but there are probably more things. I noticed a picture of a guardsman in the artwork for the preview, and he looked like he was in a different style to either Angels of Death or Hammer and Bolter, so maybe that's something new. And I understand in theory there was some sort of TV show based around Eisenhorn in the pipeline at some point. I don't think that was anything to do with the Warhammer Animations project, though I suppose I might be wrong. I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about it either way. Of course, the other half of all this are all the vanished fan animations that originated on YouTube. Games Workshop have confirmed that they're collaborating with a bunch of these guys. They basically made them take their animations down on YouTube, come apart as part of the animations team, and now at least a good bunch of them are going to be making some officially licensed Warhammer 40k stuff. We know Astartes is on board, there's that Exodite film, Primaris Black Templar, and Iron Within. I believe they're all going to be having to make their audio and things IP friendly, so they're not using any assets that they don't technically have license to, and hopefully they'll be continuing on to other 40k projects after they've finished their initial works. It sounds like a few others have also been reached out to in the same way, such as Sodas. From reading between the lines in their press releases, it sounds like that they might be updating the audio on their original animations that are already made, but not necessarily making anything new for 40k. Again though, we've had very little details one way or the other. Certainly seeing any cool new stuff from these guys is going to be hotly anticipated. Again, I think that this is going to be a really big deal exactly how they choose to release all this. It might well be behind a paywall on the Warhammer site, though it will be good to see these fan animations uploaded to the Warhammer YouTube channel, so at least they can return to the places where the initial hype was built up and they were made famous to start with. So anyway, this is certainly going to be an interesting preview to watch. As normal with these previews, I'll be giving it a watch, and I'll most likely upload a short breakdown on the day after. If you'd like to see that, or any other news of Games Workshop's releases, feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics. I do try and keep up with their 40k things as they come out. Finally, if you'd like to help keep these videos coming, they do take a long time to make, and any support on the channel's Patreon page is enormously appreciated. Channel patrons do get a fair few advantages, such as seeing certain new videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things come next for the channel, and automatic entry to the regular prize giveaways with the chance to win some really big model kits. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, then the link is down in the video description below. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.